So, I don't know really what it holds, but I want to go and I want to own a butcher shop and a barbecue supply store in Oxford. And I want to go to, it's Ole Miss, correct?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss for an entrepreneurship. And then I have to go to state to get a meat science certificate that I want. And I'm going to open my butcher shop and my barbecue supply store, and that's what I want to do. I don't want a restaurant. I don't want anything like that. I want a butcher shop and a barbecue supply store because everyone loves a one-stop shop, but also you'll get people going down to the Delta and stuff. You'll get, people that I know from barbecue. Hey, give me your order. I'll drop it out at a comp if I'm going, or you can pick it up. But you'll also get from like ball games, you'll get the crowd from that. So it's a good area.
Listen, learn, get inspired. I'm Tavis Bryant, and this is BBQ Therapy. Like, subscribe, and follow to help grow the barbecue therapy community. Also, visit my website at www.bbqtherapypodcast.com.
Bring on down, barbecue, your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on. Get your barbecue on.
Welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. My name is Tavis Bryant, and tonight we have someone that's proven something powerful in the barbecue world right now. Passion has nothing to do with age. At the age of 13 years old, she has already built a name for herself through competition barbecue, major appearances, and high-level cooking accomplishments that many adults spend decades chasing. After multiple surgeries at a young age that limited her abilities, barbecue became more than a hobby. It became an outlet, a purpose, and eventually a platform. Jacey Blurton, welcome to the BBQ Therapy Podcast. I got one rule: make yourself at home. And welcome, Dad, also.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, glad to have you. First, I saw this online as far as playing sports. Did you like sports growing up?
Nope. Never had an interest in them. My friends played them, but no, never had an interest in them. Besides, like my daddy, he would watch like college ball.
Okay. And which state y'all live in?
Mississippi.
Okay. Yeah, I got invited to come. I'm in Georgia. I got invited to come to Hank Vaden. So one day I'm trying a weekend to go out there and interview him.
You need to make that trip, brother. Hank Vaden is awesome. He's the man.
Yeah, I got to see him at Memphis in May. All right. Now let's get started. Now, first I want to say that it might not mean much, but I'm proud of you, JC, and I'm happy for you, everything that you're doing, because sometimes a lot of people, when they go through stuff, they let it get them down, that they don't try to find new things to do or take their mind off of it, but you were able to overcome it and find something that you like, and you put your all into it. As well as Dad, I know as I have a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old daughter, so I know that through the process, I know it was hard on you and Mom, because I mean, as a dad and you got daughters, you want to be able to handle every situation and take away the pain and everything that they go through it. But y'all were troopers through this, and I'm glad that y'all successful in everything y'all doing. So I just want to say, I'm happy for y'all.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, she definitely handled it better than we did. So
yeah, I mean, as parents, my daughter get a common cold, I'm about to freak out because there's nothing I can do. All right, let's take it back to the beginning. And how did you get introduced to competition barbecue, or how did you hear about it?
Well, so one of my dad's friends, who is also one of his customers, we call him Daddy Dylan. He was on a team, and he was trying to get him into it. He said, "I'm not doing it." They figured out I can't play sports, and they're like, if we get her into it, we can get him into it. So they convinced him they needed a kids cook to qualify for Grand Champion at one of the events. And he called me, he asked me, and he thought I was going to say no. I said yes. I was like, I'm at home, homeschooled. What else am I going to do? So I said yes, and I was last place.
So did you How long did you practice before you entered the kids queue, or did you went in there without?
I think I practiced 3 times a week for like 2 months. It was, we need to get this down, and it was chicken legs. And I hate cooking chicken legs because you can never get them to look pretty.
All right. So when you did that, what hooked you concerning that competition barbecue? Did you find yourself wanting to do it after you did it at one time, or did you like, I don't know if I like this or not?
So I liked cooking, hanging out with my dad because I don't get to hang out with him a lot. And the anticipation of like, did we win or did we not? And hanging out with like friends and family. Mm-hmm. But also, I was the only kid who actually cooked their stuff because the other kids were playing football in front of me and I watched them. So it just kind of, it lit a spark, and I was like, I want to do more.
Right. And what age were you when he first invited y'all out there?
8.
Oh, wow.
She was late 8, about to be 9 when she started cooking. So she had her surgery. She had just turned 8, and so she may even have just turned 9. So because she spent about 4 months in Lamoners.
Okay. And as far as I guess Daddy Dylan, how long has he been cooking competition barbecue?
20 years, 25 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's been around. He's been with different teams. He's been with this team, that team. Then they kind of formed a super team type deal, and it didn't mesh well. And then now him and his wife, Sonia, have their own team, and they're doing really extremely well in NBN right now. And they came out and cooked for Jacey at Memphis in May. They did ancillaries and stuff. And then Dylan was her pit assistant at Memphis in May. And, I got to sit back and watch the show. So
I know it made you feel proud. But what's some of the biggest lessons that Daddy Dylan taught you when you were learning early, Jacey?
Focus, clean as you go. And if you don't win, don't get discouraged. Look back on your timeline and on your cook and see what you need to do next.
That's good advice. How long did you cook with Daddy I can't say this. Daddy Dylan before you ventured off to wanting to cook on your own?
So I started and I was like 2 years into it. They got him on the team, and it was like 1 or 2 more years. So for me, it was like,
it was 2 years total.
Yeah.
She was about 2 years into her cooking, and we had went to the Royal, mm-hmm. and she had a great experience from her side of as far as going and cooking the steak, the kids' queue, the steak, and doing all that stuff. But what she just didn't have fun with the team dynamics and the stress that we were putting upon ourselves as a team. And I kind of wasn't happy, and I was already talking to Dylan that I was looking at other things. And then I had a friend that I cook with now, David Taylor, and he was, let's, if you come out, if you're not cooking the rest, because we didn't, with the team we were on before, we didn't cook a lot. So, I mean, we may cook 3 or 4 events, and then we'd skip 5 or 6, and we'd cook one, and, we were just hitting and missing. And he was like, I really need somebody cook shoulder. Can you finish out the season with me? And I told him, I said, yeah, we ain't cooking anything. It'd be no problem. He said, just come cook. And so on the way home from the Royal, Jacey said, I don't want to do this anymore. I had a good time as far as my cook, and I know I could have done better. I had things that happened, but
I burnt my leg.
Yeah, she burned her leg. They give her the kids out there cook on the little Weber Smoky Joe, the little small kettle, and knocked the lid over it, burned her leg, but she finished the cook. She did everything. She was such a trooper through the whole deal, but she wasn't happy. She wasn't having fun. It got to the point where it was more of a job than having fun with me, and we went and cooked with David at Old Booger Bears, and I drug her kicking and screaming to the comp, and she had an amazing time. She had fun. She was able to go and do what she liked to do and, hang out, and she got excited about barbecue again. So David and I joined up. We finished out the season. We joined up together, and we cooked the remainder of that season out together. The next year, we were like, hey, we're going to start chasing points, and Jacey was coming out with us every week in, week out. she's cooking ancillaries for us. She was getting calls in ancillaries. She was doing great things. She got in the World Junior Barbecue League. She started cooking it, and she was still doing kids queues. And we got to a event, and she was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do kids queues. I want to cook. I want to do the patios. I want to do this. And I said, well, you're going to have to prove to me that you can win. And she did. She swept the kids queue. She actually cooked a hamburger and won kids queue against kids cooking steaks.
Oh, wow.
She won chicken. She won dessert. She just dominated it. And I was like, well, we'll give you a chance at patio. And she started really working hard. She was putting a lot of effort into learning what she had to do with the World Junior Barbecue League, because it's basically a KCBS. They cook pork, chicken, ribs, and brisket.
Yeah.
And the difference is they get their meat at like 7 a.m. and their first turn-in's like 2 o'clock. So these kids really have to be focused. They're having to cook hot and fast. They're having to overcome adversity and do things that it's making them really great cooks. And she did that, and she's proving to herself she could do things by herself. She could cook all that by herself and prep it and do. So we let her do a patio, and she done all right, and then she done another one, and she GCs it. She just dominates it.
Oh, wow.
And she starts cooking Rib Association, and she's doing okay in it. She's kind of mid-pack, but you can start seeing that progression where, Heath picks her up, and she's getting more and more consistent, and she's winning more, and she's doing this. And, we look up, and last year you had 2 GCs and 3 perfect scores in Memphis Barbecue Network patio against adults, people that I respect. And, it ain't like she's out there cooking against kids and people that don't know. Memphis Barbecue Network patio division, especially down in the Delta, you're cooking against some grown men that know what they're doing, and they're not cooking pro for whatever their reason. It doesn't have to have a reason. That's just what they want to do. And she's beat some really great guys that I have a lot of respect for, and then they've been amazing how they've reacted to her winning. Just from the standpoint, everybody supports her, and she calls it her barbecue family. We show up to a comp and start setting up, and she's gone, and she's seeing people and visiting with them and stuff like that, and doing things. And then when it's time for her to cook and do, it's game on. I ain't your friend no more. But when it's all over, she's just as excited for them as she is herself. And so it's been amazing what she's been able to accomplish.
So where did you learn how to cook ancillaries from, Jacey?
It was just watching, and then also a lot of the kids' queues around us was always like chicken or hamburgers or pork chop or something. So, it was just like looking at videos of like dessert or, other different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And who's what videos do you usually watch? Just different people, or is it certain people that you actually get tips from?
Heath Prowse is the main one, but I watch Malcolm Reed or anyone who just catches my eye, and I'm like, hey, I want to see what they're doing there. So.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the World Junior Barbecue League Championship, and that's the one Melissa Cookston do, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How is that set up? Is it like a season, or just like one comp, or a series of comps? How does that set up?
So there used to be 2, and it was the World Championship, and then it was Smoke Slam. Well, we don't have Smoke Slam anymore, so we just have the World Championship. And it was, before we had Smoke Slam, the people who won the championship would cook with Melissa Cookston at Memphis and May when she first started it. Well, she doesn't cook Memphis and May anymore, so she's like kind of working on that. But the championship is in the parking lot of her store in South Haven, Barbecue All Stars. She rents it out. She sets a designated place, and she preaches to it. She said, we ain't having awards or anything until that side is clean, and you can't have any trash on the ground. You can't have anything. Of course, grease stains, we can't control that. But she said, we're not having awards until that spot is clean, because if it's not, we won't be able to do this next year. So she's hard on us.
She sets a high standard for these kids, but these kids, not just as a cook, but as a parent. What she's teaching these kids is so amazing, and I cannot say enough good things about what she's teaching them, how she's teaching them, and what she's doing, and everything else. And I mean, Melissa, Lauren, Kevin, the whole team over there, they're so amazing. They're great with these kids, and they put a lot of effort into making sure these kids, they're learning life skills, and they're learning how to cook, and they're being professionals. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of KCBS cooks I know, as much as I respect them, would not run the timeline these kids do, and they excel at it. She's never had a missed entry. She's always gotten entries turned in, and these kids are turning out product that is great. So I'm super proud that she's a part of that and what Melissa's doing, what she's trying to accomplish. The Smoke Slam thing kind of messed up her flow of what her normal track is, but they're trying to get some other comps set up and do some other things. You know, this time last year, nobody thought Smoke Slam wasn't going to do anything but come back, and it not coming back kind of messed some things up, but it did open an amazing opportunity for her, because once we knew it was canceled, you know, she was ready to go to Memphis in May and try her hand there. And, you know, we all know how that turned out. It turned out amazing. So,
yeah. And that's good that Melissa is streamlined and stick by what she did. It teaches them respect. It teaches them, as far as cleaning up behind themselves, responsibility and stuff like that. So it's good that she established that. Let's talk about the Rib Cook-Off Championship.
Okay.
How did it, going into that, how were you feeling about your cook? Were you confident when you did your turn in, or how were you feeling that day?
So the year before this year, 2024, I got invited. 25. I was invited on Dirk and Jody. They invited me to the championship, and I was mid-pack. And then we go back this year, and I was winning and everything. When I turned in my babies, I was really happy with them. Not really my spares. And the steak, we had 2 steaks, and the second one we should have turned in, but we didn't know. So we go and we turn it in, and then we come back, and of course we're eating on the second. We're like, we should have turned this one in. This one's better, but...
Well, there was 142 cooks there. She was 31st in steak. And, I mean, there was SCA World Champions. We set up next to...
Poncho and Lefty. Flying Smoke. There was a, you know... People dog the Rib Association, say it's backyard cooks. And we went the couple weeks before Memphis in May down to Bahalia and cooked the one that Mark Lambert had there. And you had... Mark Lambert had entered. You had Boar's Not Out.
Ashley Henson, who worked for Mark and Boar's Not Out, was there. You had Hunter Brown there. You had some rib killers there. It may be backyard flavors, run what you brung type stuff, but it's still what the best rib is. And you know, you can't say that these people, Mark Lambert, you know, is cooking a backyard rib. Mark Lambert's turning in a world champion rib. Alan Smith is turning in a world champion rib. Hunter Brown's turning in a world champion rib. You're not going to the Rib Association and cooking against your uncle that thinks he's got the best ribs that ever was. That world championship, there was 142 teams there, and 142 of the, you could have it tomorrow and it'd be a different outcome, because that level of competition there is that good. And shout out to Dirk and Jody for what they've done, giving barbecue another sanctioning body that is so well respected and so well ran. So,
yeah, definitely. I love them to death, and because I think it was a wonderful idea for those that not able to go out there and spend 3-4 days sitting in the parking lot. That those that have to get back to families and all that they can just go set up, cook, and get out of there. And
yeah,
like I said, I got to judge. I went to the MBBQA conference, and I got to judge 2 of the competitions they did for Rib Cook-Off Association. And then I got to interview them also. I think it was last year I interviewed them for the show. And I love what they're doing, and I love the philosophy. It's all about having fun and not to be out there stressing out. And it's different. And it's like I say, it's easy. I love how they incorporate the judges, finding people, just random people to come judge. It makes it fun. It brings more people in that you get to judge the Rib Cook-Off. You don't have to have all these pins and all this other stuff, and I think it's kind of more realistic than the other associations. So, like I said, I mean, I look forward to them to continue to spread it and bring it over here and on the East Coast also. So,
yeah,
like I said, I love what they're doing.
The sky's the limit for Dirk and Jody on that, and like I said, I'm proud. They had a competition in not far from here, and Jacey wanted to cook it, and we reached out, and you know, Dirk and Jody were like, you know, hey, well, we don't know. We're kind of trying to follow our SCA rules. And they were like, but you can send us some references and, you know, some video stuff. And so we did. And Dirk called back and he's like, no, she can cook. We're not going to hem her to just doing Kids Q. And I mean, she's done amazing things. And I'm proud of her, and I'm proud of her involvement with Rib Association and the people that she's meeting and from all over the world, you know. I mean, Rib Association's worldwide. They had their teams in from Europe, Netherlands, and that type of stuff. And shout out to those people. They flew halfway across the world, and you know, there was 2 of them left with some serious hardware from the Rib Association World Championship. So
a lot of them did.
Yeah. That's a big accomplishment that you made top 10, because there was a lot of big names at the championship. So
yeah, and it was a no-call top 10. So they gave a poker chip, and they said, you know, here's your poker chip, and this is how we're going to do the ribs. And we're sitting there, and they had called the top 10 in baby backs and top 10 and in spares, and she hands me the chip, and they call 10th place, and then they call 9th, and I hand her the chip back, and I said, go. So, you know, consistency's key, and she nailed it. So,
and what were you thinking, Jacey, when they called your name for 9th place?
I didn't think I was actually going to win. Like, I was like, can we just get this over with? I want to go home. I'm tired. I didn't think I was actually going to win, because I was like, I didn't get called in babies. I didn't get called in spares. I didn't get called in steak. And I didn't get called in wings. I was like, there's no possible way that I'm going to be in the overall. It makes no sense. But, you know, barbecue mouth don't make sense.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Definitely true. All right. And every great pitmaster eventually develops their own style. So when people eat your barbecue, what do you want them to say afterwards, after they eat to try your barbecue, Jason?
That it is straight down the middle. You can taste the meat, but it's still, there's savory, sweet, salty, heat. There's nothing about that rib or anything that I cook that you don't like, because it's straight down the middle.
That was an excellent answer. All right, and what part of the competition barbecue you enjoy most? Is it the cooking, building flavors, teamwork, traveling, meeting people, or just hearing your name called?
Well, it's the relationships you make, but also like meeting new people, the anticipation, the hanging out with, you know, friends and family, and getting to have that experience, because I don't get to do that a lot. I mean, besides from school, barbecue is the only thing that I do, so it's...
Yeah, that's what I love the most. That's what attracted me, because I'm eventually start competing, but when I got ready to start competing, my wife got pregnant and we had a baby, so I had to put a pause on that, and that's how I eventually got into the podcast business. But what hooked me is I usually every year take her to Memphis in May, and 2023 we was around the Blues Hog tent, and Mark Bayless from Blues Hog seen me and my wife just standing out in the back, and he went straight to us and nice, friendly, gave us some sauce, allowed us to meet Johnny Trigg, took pictures with Johnny Trigg and him, let me try the championship ring that they won in 2022. And after that day, because of his friendliness, that's what hooked me in the barbecue. And ever since, I'm excited to go out and meet people. That's why I go. If I wouldn't have been there podcasting, I would have been there. I was already going to go there walking around, but they just happened to ask me to guest host their podcast. But I usually go walk around, meet people, and I just like hearing people's story. It excites me to hear where people started from to where they're at now, and I just love going to classes. I go to classes also. I've been to 5 classes just to go meet people, and as well as just learn about competition barbecue. But it's so awesome, the people that you meet. And just like you said, you meet some people that you've been watching on TV and videos and stuff like that, it blows your mind that you're sitting right there looking at them and talking to them at these competitions.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've met, Myron Mixon, Tuffy Stone. I met Chris Lilly, and that was awesome. First time I met Big Mo, I froze up. Didn't freeze when I met Tuffy. Didn't freeze when I met Myron or Melissa. I froze when I met Mo, though.
When you met Chris Lilly, like you were shocked too.
Well, you were a little starstruck with Chris
I
Lilly
was.
too.
That I didn't know what to say or how to say it.
But the biggest thing is all the names that she just dropped. Mm-hmm. They're so genuine. They're such great people. So encouraging of the next generation, and it's totally amazing. I love seeing Tuffy's videos because every time I see him with that stool on his shoulder and he talks about that was his dad's stool and how important it is. That circle logo of Jacey's is right there in the center of that. And
put it on there myself.
Yeah, and I mean that means a lot to me. The first time she won a youth grand championship, the first person to congratulate her was Myron Mixon. He stopped me. I was headed up there to intercept her, and he stopped me, and he said, "You mind if we congratulate her first?" I was like, and I've told the story before, what do you say to Myron Mixon? No, get out of the way. I'm going to congratulate her first. It made such an impact, and it meant so much. She was able to see what she had accomplished, and for him to recognize it and see that it was a special moment and want to reinforce the importance of that to her, it means a lot.
Well, I was on cloud 9.
Yeah, and people have Myron mixed up. I guess they go by the TV show and thinks he's mean and all this. And Myron's very nice.
Well, Myron is like most people who are highly competitive. He comes there for trophies, pictures, and payments. He don't show up to politic and drive over and visit friends. He comes there for a reason, and and I can respect that of him. I really can, and I know Jacey can because Jacey's the same way. Once she gets to a comp and it gets to time, we got to start prepping. You got to get on your timeline. It's that. You need to stay out of her way. You don't mess with her site. You don't mess with her cook. She's focused on winning. And then as soon as all that meat's turned in, that switch goes off and she's back to, hey, I was busy earlier. What are you up to?
Yeah, like I'll go and congratulate people who finaled. Like after I'm done, I'll go up to him. I said, "Hey, who finaled in hog, pork, and ribs?" And they'll tell me, and I'll go over to him because everyone knows me, and I'll congratulate them, wish them luck, talk to them, and then I'll go and I'll make my rounds and what we call politic and barbecue just going and talking to people, and then awards. Whoever wins, afterwards, everyone goes up to them, congratulates. They pack up, they go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that's the way to do it. I mean, not getting mad or blaming the judges or anything like that. Go congratulate somebody. I mean, you got to be realistic that we ain't going to win every time. And getting mad and getting the attitude is, some people deserve chances to win. So it's good to see people that you know and friendly with win also. I was happy when they said you had final because it's an amazing story that someone at your age is out there competing with adults, which it blew my mind because the crazy thing about it is when you came up and I interviewed you, they had sent me your name a couple weeks earlier, but I didn't know it was you that was coming up to me, and I was reading the story and I was like, this is amazing. So I'm thinking of my 10-year-old, I was like, I wouldn't even trust her around the grill. Winning championships. So I was like, I got to meet this girl. So I was happy that I got to interview you and stuff there and meet you and tell you that it's amazing that what you're doing. So what's your favorite category to cook in competition barbecue?
Well, I'm from Memphis, so if I don't say pork, I don't know if I can really say I'm Memphian. So I say pork. I love to cook pork. I love to cook ribs, pork, anything like that. Mm-hmm. Pork loin isn't really my favorite. It's kind of like, I like to eat it. I don't like to cook it.
That's how it is with most barbecue. We have so much barbecue, but I can't eat a lot of it no more.
I don't eat any of it. Whatever I cook either gets given away or trash. We don't keep it. I'm not keeping it.
And how long did it take you to perfect your recipe where you got to a point where you're like, okay, this is it. This is perfect.
Trial and error, like everyone else. I mean, he'll go and...
But it took you... I mean, she worked on that recipe. She started her recipe that she's cooking right now for ribs probably 3 months before the first Smoke Slam, and she's just steadily perfected it. And then the last year, when I would say August of last year was like she nailed it, and she started it. You know, this is my recipe. This is what I'm gonna do, and it was. I mean, she has not altered that recipe in August of this year, it'll be a full year. And she's cooked 15, 20 comps, plus maybe 30 or 40 that she's cooked, that she's ran the same recipe week in, week out. And, you know, GC one weekend and she's fifth the next, and, you know, then back-to-back wins and, you know, stuff. So, I mean, she's kind of hit her, this is my recipe, this is what I'm doing, and it's the same way with pork. She actually runs a version of my pork shoulder recipe, and, you know, to her credit, you know, she 9 times out of 10, she's first or second with that recipe. I wish I was that consistent with it, so.
Yeah. Ain't no telling by the time she get 18, 19, 20, boys.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've probably got another year or 2, 3 that I'll cook at all, and then after that, I mean, we're not far from it's to the point where I get more enjoyment out of carrying her to a comp and watching her do what she does and stuff like that. There's things she wants to do, she wants to accomplish, and, you know, as long as she wants to drag me across that stage, I'm gonna do whatever she wants to do. So.
Well, of course.
And that's what it's all about. All right. And what grade are you in?
I'm going into 8th grade.
Okay. You just became a teen. It was amazing. All right. And when other kids that are not in barbecue, when they hear that you do competition barbecue, how do they react? Or what do they say? Or do you have even heard of competition barbecue?
It depends on who you ask. It really does. With my best friend Brooklyn, I'm best friends with a famous person. With anyone else, she's a 50-year-old man sucking a 13-year-old's body. I said, how the heck did y'all come up with that?
Well, she won World Junior. Her school had her bring that trophy up, and they set it out and had it displayed and stuff like that. And we're actually going to take her Memphis and May trophy and display it over at Wheeler's Butcher Shop and stuff like that. And I mean, barbecue's been awesome, but it's the people who, you know, John David Wheeler giving pointers and doing this, and everybody that just reaches out, gives a kind word, an encouraging word or whatever. I mean, you know, from a parent standpoint, trophies and all that stuff's nice, but it's seeing what she's getting out of barbecue that's the amazing part of it.
Yeah. And how often do you practice in between the competition?
I normally use like mini comps as practice because I can't not be in a comp setting and practice because I won't make my timeline. I know myself. I know I should practice a lot more, and I want to start doing that. That's why I started homeschool. But I have to be in a comp setting, or we're going to get my trailer to where I can just roll out my pits, like level the ramp, roll out my old hickory and cook on it because I know how to do everything. And maybe that will be, you know, easier. But if I'm like at the house, I can't do it. I won't make my timelines.
She'll cook, and she cooks amazing stuff. But if you tell her, hey, I want ribs done at 4 o'clock, you know, I'm going to get home at 4 o'clock, or I'm going to get home at 6 o'clock, I want ribs done, or I want a pork butt done, or I want whatever. And I'll get home, and she's like rapping. And I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I got busy. You put her in a competitive environment, and she's so focused on everything she's doing, and she's nailing everything. So a lot of it is it's just pit time. You know, we're not worried about timelines or whatever. It's get to pit time, get the flavor, the texture, everything you're looking for. But we get to a comp, and especially a big comp. You know, she ran a practice cook for Memphis and May on Friday. And she was so focused, and the ribs turned out amazing, and I'm sitting there thinking, I hope we didn't waste a bullet. We may need that bullet tomorrow. And then we went home Friday night, cleaned up, took our showers, got ready to go back to the site. And we get to the site at like 4:30 in the morning. I'm lighting pits, and she's pulling meat out and getting it set up to start coming up to temp and seasoning and doing what she's doing. And I'm watching her, and she's just clicked right back in that zone. She's in her element, and she's focused, and she got everything seasoned, sweating it in. We put them on the pit. She set her timer, and she sat down, and I physically sat there for the next hour and a half or so and didn't do anything but just watch her do her thing. And then she's like, okay, they're at color. We got set up to wrap, and she was pulling them, and we were wrapping them. She's putting them back on, and the rest of the team showed up, and she started barking orders and getting people in, I need this done, I need that done, do this, do that. And Dylan was like, oh my God, she's a test driver. And I said, I wonder who taught her that. And he goes, I may have had something to do with that. I said, it's just like cooking with you, dude. That's the reason why I don't cook with you anymore.
But the part that impressed me is when they found out the finalists, how everybody huddled around each finalist and started helping them. And that was amazing how everybody came to each of the tents and just started, what can I do? What can I do to help? It was amazing.
Memphis barbecue's that way. And, the first time I ever finaled, I was at a comp that we're actually cooking this weekend. It's called Thunder on Water. And I finaled, and two guys come running up, and they were like, hey, you finaled. What do you need? And I was like, and he's like, have you ever finaled before? And I was like, nope. And he goes, they walked me through, physically sat down, talked to me, done all this stuff. Here's what you need to do, here's how you need to do it, and all that stuff. And I said, I appreciate y'all doing all this. I said, what's y'all's name? And looked at me and said, I'm Lance Gehring. I'm with Poker Porkers. And I was like, you finaled too? And he's like, yeah, but I've done this before, you haven't. And they didn't have to do that, but it was the same way Memphis and May, they showed up. What do y'all need? What do y'all got for finals? What are we doing? They set everything up. We'd have never got set up for finals if they hadn't have done what they did. And it was amazing. And they did it because of, not only helping Jacey, just being good stewards of barbecue. And that's what Memphis barbecue is about,
Exactly. And I love to see that, and where everybody come together and no hard feelings because they didn't win or anything like that. And I was glad I was there to see it, and it unfolds, and Memphis and May is special.
Yeah. Well,
what's next for you, JC? Class? You want to teach classes, restaurant? You want to come up with a product? What's coming in the future for you?
So, I don't know really what it holds, but I want to go, and I want to own a butcher shop and a barbecue supply store in Oxford. And I want to go to, it's Ole Miss, correct?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss for an entrepreneurship, and then I have to go to state to get a meat science certificate that I want. And I'm going to open my butcher shop and my barbecue supply store, and that's what I want to do. I don't want a restaurant. I don't want anything like that. I want a butcher shop and a barbecue supply store because everyone loves a one-stop shop. Mm-hmm. But also, you'll get people going down to the Delta and stuff. You'll get, people that I know from barbecue. Hey, give me your order. I'll drop it off at a comp if I'm going, or you can pick it up. But you'll also get from ball games. You'll get the crowd from that. So it's a good area.
Yeah, and here, we have the Atlanta barbecue store, but it's only online. And me, I love going in the barbecue store and just standing around, just looking at stuff and seeing what they got and stuff like that. At the most, we have Academy Sports and stuff where you just made a little small section here and there, and Ace Hardware, but we don't have just a store that you can just walk in and just see all the different stuff that barbecue offers. So that's definitely a good idea and a good thing to want to have.
Well, being able to get your meats and do what you want to do, and what she's wanting to do with barbecue and what she understands about barbecue and stuff is going to be huge. And that goes back to there's a lot of here in Memphis, there's 2 or 3 places that everybody buys their meat from. And there'll come a time where that butcher will retire or they're whatever, and Jacey, hopefully we can set Jacey up to be that next thing to do that. And still be able to compete and do what she wants to do and have fun with it. And, ultimately, if she can make a living off barbecue without having to own a restaurant and have that stress and strain, I am all for it. So
yeah, I don't want a restaurant. Everyone's like, I can't wait to eat in your restaurant. I said, you're not going to eat in my restaurant. They said, what? I said, I'm owning a butcher shop and a barbecue supply store. But
we will cater for a good price.
Good, solid money there, catering. So, all right. So, other kids out there that may want to get into competition barbecue around your age, what advice would you give them?
Do it. Get a kid to cook or whatever. Do it. See if you like it. If you like it, something you want to do, ask to do more, and then make a brand that you're proud of that you can talk about and you're not lying. Okay, make that brand that you're proud of. Because I'm proud of Bugsy Q. I'm proud of BBQ Bugsy. I'm proud of everything I've accomplished. Make a brand you're proud of and see if you like it. If you like it, it's something you want to do, even if it's just a hobby. Mm-hmm. Do it. The people you make, the relationships you make, the people you meet, everything, it's, awesome.
Yeah, and those are strong words, because for me, when I first started this, I think last week or the week before last, just completed 1 year for me for doing this podcast. And when I came on, I was like, ain't nobody coming on this podcast. Don't nobody know me. So, but once I got going, it's like more people started hearing me, and I started getting more people as word of mouth went on. And like you said, it's just being confident in what you're doing and your brand. And once you put in the work, it's going to be rewarded. Your hard work is not going to go unnoticed. And just like you said, you've been putting in the work and the results have been showing. And now you get to reap the benefits of all that hard work. So, like I said, those are good words that you had. So, like I said, just keep it up.
When I won Memphis in May, I never cry when I win anything. Okay? Like, I'm happy or everything, but I don't cry. It's just, I can't get myself to cry. When I got off that stage and we were taking photos, I got strangled, so I walked over to compose myself, and we were walking back, and my grandparents came to see me, and they gave me a big old bear hug, and they were like, we're so proud of you, and I had to hide. Because I was bawling.
There was people coming to her site saying, hey, we come to see Jacey. And I was like, I don't know where she's at. Let me try to find her. And, she came out and she done her PR thing, posted her some pictures and stuff. She was kept disappearing. And I finally went in there and I said, what's wrong? And she's like, I just need a minute. And, you sit there and look, and the gravity of everything that night, it didn't sync with me. It didn't sync with her. But last week we were sitting with Heath, and he said, do you realize what you've done? And she's like, and he's like, I don't think you realize it. And he said, but there's a lot of people that do realize it. And he said, one day it'll hit, and it's starting to hit. So, and
this is something that most folks haven't even won a contest, period, and they've been doing this for years. And you win in contests left and right, and you went into Memphis May and beat adults. Adults.
And some good adults. Thunder Cookie, River Dogs, can't take anything away from either one of those. And, all the respect in the world for what they put out and the product they put out. And, for her to win, that's what it's about, is you challenge yourself. And when Jacey wanted to start doing more and everything, I talked with Karen Wright, Steak Princess's mom, and she said, put her on a pedestal, put her out there, do it, sign her up. Don't be afraid to put her out in the front of everybody. She don't need to be hiding in trailer. She needs to be under a tent where everybody watches her do it. And that's what we've done, and it's paid dividends. But that's that barbecue advice. People didn't have to say what they've said, but they did say it and have supported her through,
When I actually started Patio, they were like, we'll put you by, old Buccabears. Even though Patio and Pro are supposed to be separated, we'll put it by, by his team just in case I get into a bind. And it was her daddy's cooking it. So they put me on an island. When I tell you, you have to walk physically 20 steps each
No,
way.
it's more than that.
I mean, you have to physically
If you show
walk.
up at her side at a patio, you've showed up to her side. You went over there with purpose. It ain't like, oh, well, I walked out of my side, just happened to be in your side. It is being, they put her on an island, and they've proven to people that were her doubters that she's doing exactly what she said she's doing. It ain't me. I mean, I've got a shoulder, I've got a hog. My partner's cooking ribs. We're over there scrambling, trying to win our own thing. And then at the end of the day, Jacey's the one taking the GC trophies home. And not to take anything away from what we've done, David and I have accomplished a lot together. But Jacey's doing it at a young age, and we're all proud of her. I could not be prouder of what she's accomplished and the way she represents the city of Memphis barbecue, and any of that stuff. So
yeah, and when I read in barbecue news how I guess since she won, she can't do it again, and she has to wait until she's 18 I don't think that's. I mean, your own opinion. I don't think
it's to make the pro level requirement. I mean, I could sign up next year and be the team captain and Jacey cook it, but if we go back to it's Jacey's team, I don't mind being the captain. I don't mind being the representative for the rules or whatever, but Jacey's the pitmaster. Same thing I told the guy on stage when he said, how was your cook? I said, I don't know, ask her. She's the cook. To me, it looked awesome, and we're standing on this stage talking to you with this big trophy you're fixing to give us. Must have done something right, but, she does amazing things, and, even with MBN, she has to have when she's cooking patio, she has to have an adult with her. So be it. We'll have an adult over there. Her mom will be there. Somebody else will be there. It's not a cook. Jacey's over there doing her thing. And when she wins, she wins. And I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of any of these kids to go out and do it, from all fired up with Clayton or Little Ginga Ray or State Princess of anything. I mean, these are great kids. They're so amazing. They're mature beyond their years, and they're amazing. When people throw Pitmaster around, these kids are truly Pitmasters. Mm-hmm. People like me get to play at it. They're truly a Pitmaster.
Exactly. And like I said, I love it when the young people find something that they love doing and they can grow into it. And you never know what they can become by the time they get our age by doing it so early. Because, I found barbecue late during COVID, and I'm 50 years old and I'm just starting all this up. So it's like I got to make up for lost time, but you got an opportunity that you starting at this age. You winning championships at this age. So you're looking up to Heath Rouse and all these other folks, but within the next 10 years, your trophy room going to be looking just like his.
We're out of room for trophies.
Well, that's why I want a massive shop.
Yeah, she's already relegated my trophies had to go to my work office. So, we're running out of trophies. We got Memphis and May sitting on the fireplace right now. We got World Juniors sitting, she's won a lot of trophies, and they're all over this house. And, if I got a house full of them, and so be it. I'm proud of her and her accomplishments.
Yeah, I had a Memphis and May trophy. I'd be taking it everywhere. I'd be all in the grocery store carrying it around and everywhere I go.
Memphis and May trophy probably weighs 200 pounds. You don't carry it far. You find a place to put it.
It's like as tall as me.
Wow. All right. Yeah, I didn't even get to stay. I didn't stay. I was so worn out for doing all them interviews, because I think I did like 40 interviews in 2 days. So I was worn out. And plus I had to drive back to Georgia, which was 6 hours. So I was like, I got to get some rest. So, but I was happy that I got to interview a lot of the young people and stuff, and as well as some of the legends. Like, I was like, this opportunity, it blew my mind. I was over here like, I felt that I won the Memphis and May championship over there with the people at the level I was interviewing. Because, when people don't know you, they kind of underestimate you. And like a lot of people that came on the show and stuff, but some of those people, they'll go right past your email or DM and stuff when you invite them on the show and not give you a chance. But since Smoking Brothers had me over there and they knew a lot of those folks, inviting them over, I got a chance to prove what I've been doing and how I operate, and it blew people's mind over there. So my job is to promote the pitmasters, make them look good, and show the world what barbecue means to me as well as it means to the person that I'm interviewing, and show all the wonderful things that they're doing. So I loved it when they said I get to interview a lot of the kids, and it meant a lot to me, and it was special to me, especially because it was a lot of their first interviews, and it was memorable, and it was live, so everybody got to see it. So like I said, I'm proud of you and all the rest of the kids out there, and just watching them being set up right across from them, just watching them operate, it was special. So like I said, congratulations to all you're doing.
I gotta step away for just a second.
Okay.
But I mean, my best friend Ray, the Laginga, she won my fire junior. I mean, we hung out, I think it was Thursday, she cooked Friday. And we hung out all day, and we hung out with, like 2 other kids, and just kind of going, and, because we don't get to see each other but like 4 times a year and stuff, because she lives in Texas and I live here. And I was there when she won it, and my dad, he's calling me, he's like, Bob's carrying you to meet Chris Lilly, where are you? I said, Ray just won my fire junior. I'm going to hug her around the neck and congratulate her, and then I'll head her right over there. But it was,
Yeah, it was awesome to see that. I think I saw it on Instagram, the video of that. And it's good that the young people are showing up and showing what they can do also. All right, I'll play a quick game with you before I get you out of here.
oh,
I call this the BBQ Therapy Smoke Showdown Bracket. What I did is I got 16 meats that you cook on the grill. I mashed them up in 2s, and when I give you each pair, just tell me which one you prefer to eat, and we'll see which one the winner. All right, first matchup is brisket versus hot dog. Which one do you prefer to eat?
brisket,
All right. Next matchup is smoked chicken versus pork chop.
chicken.
Okay. Next matchup is pork ribs versus lamb.
Ooh. You have to cook lamb right, so I'm going to go ribs.
All right, next matchup is steak versus pork belly.
I don't know if I've ever had pork belly,
Really?
but I don't know.
Really? Wow.
On the side.
I think I'm going to go steak.
You ever had pork belly?
Oh,
Yes, you have. Look, I cook hogs. She's ate pork belly.
I may have not known it. You know what? Pork belly.
Okay, pork belly.
But you can't beat a good cut of meat.
Oh, yeah.
Tri-tip, brisket, a good steak, Don't tell anybody from Memphis I said this, you can't beat it. So,
All right. You want to stick with pork belly or go steak?
Pork belly.
Okay. All right. Next matchup: beef ribs versus barbecue shrimp.
Beef ribs.
All right. Hamburger versus smoked bologna.
Bologna.
Mississippi
bologna.
round steak, you can't beat it.
All right. Sausage versus smoked ham.
Ham.
Okay. Smoked turkey versus burnt ends.
Burnt ends.
Next round: brisket versus chicken.
When you cook a good brisket, it's really good. But if you cook a really good piece of chicken, it's hard. Chicken.
All right. Pork ribs versus pork belly.
Pork belly.
Beef ribs versus bologna.
Bologna. I like bologna better.
All right. Ham versus burnt ends.
Burnt ends.
Okay. All right. Next round: chicken versus pork belly.
Pork belly.
And bologna versus burnt ends.
Burnt ends. I've always liked burnt ends. Hank the Grill Dog was photobombing.
All right. And the finals is pork belly versus burnt ends.
Burnt ends.
Okay, burnt ends.
Love burnt ends.
Okay. All right, Miss Jacey, your therapy session is over. If you want to give your website and social media and stuff like that, you can do it at this time.
So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, at BBQ Bugsy on everything. And we have a website, but it's not really, it's not really built yet. We need to kind of continue,
It
but
really
you
needs
can.
to be adjusted
Yeah.
for some stuff.
But you can see people I've met when I was like younger if you go to photos.
Okay.
I woke up one day and I got a text from one of my friends, and she's like, I found this little neat little puppy. I said, where'd you find that? She said, your website. I said, I shouldn't be telling you these things.
But definitely just hold that website because eventually you're going to need it. And you need that website address. So if not, somebody's going to swoop in and take it. So definitely just keep it because eventually you're going to need it. It'll be there. But definitely I appreciate y'all coming on. And like I said, anytime y'all want to come on, y'all got a free pass. Everybody don't get a free pass. Just tell mom to reach out to me if y'all want to come on and just shoot the breeze or whatever. And I'll definitely send the calendar link or y'all have the calendar link. But I definitely enjoyed y'all and enjoyed interviewing and meeting y'all at Memphis in May. But definitely keep up what you're doing. Don't let nobody discourage you. Do the butcher shop, do the barbecue store, do everything you want to do. I mean, you got the work ethic, you got the parents to push you and advise you. So definitely just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
All right.
I will. This is what I want to do. The goal is to put Melissa Cooks in second place and me to be the winningest person in barbecue. So
you can do it. You can do it. You got plenty of time to do it. So hey, you got all the people around you to help you, and don't never feel that you by yourself and stuff like that. I mean, it's the sky is the limit for you. So just keep it up. I look forward to going on social media, seeing what you're doing and stuff like that, and look forward to seeing y'all. I mean, down the road and whatever y'all doing. So hey, anytime I meet you, hey, we're friends. So now on, I mean, you see me, hey, come speak, and if I see you, I'll come speak to y'all. So hey, don't be a stranger.
Absolutely, and you got an open invite. Anything you want to attend in Memphis, you always got a home, man. You give us a call.
Definitely appreciate it. All right, on that note, everybody, we'll see you next episode. Thank you for joining us for another therapy session. And remember, like, follow, and subscribe to help the barbecue therapy community. And also visit our website at www.bbqtherapypodcast.com.